Hey everyone, Shaun Carlyon from Let's Talk Shit Show. Today I've got a special guest on the show, Nicki from Pumps for Patients. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It's an honor and pleasure. I've heard so many wonderful things about you while I was here, and that's why I wanted to get you on the show, because I didn't actually realize till yesterday this was a thing.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and we are grateful for the opportunity to share about our mission. So Pumps for Patients is a nonprofit organization, and we aim to partner patients undergoing chemotherapy with septic pumpers, and our hope is, well, for the patient, pumps are always free, so we cover the septic pumping services that are needed. And most people don't know that when you're undergoing chemotherapy that the drugs remain active once they leave your body and enter a septic tank.
I did not know this.
And so, yeah, it's a lot of people don't. And so that causes disruption with the bacteria, and then there's potential to seep into the drain field, cause damage there, and then patients are looking at extremely expensive repairs at the end of treatment. So the solution to that is pump more frequently. And we felt like somebody who is fighting for their life shouldn't have added home maintenance costs.
That's incredible. And what got you into this? Like, where did this all come from? Like, this is like, again, like I said, I just found out about this. Carrie Scott from Trucker John's is the one who actually told me about you, and I was like, what? I mean, this is a thing, and so now I kind of felt silly. I didn't know this,
Yeah.
and I want to offer this to people. This sounds incredible.
Yeah. So you and me both didn't know. My husband and I own a septic pumping company in San Diego.
Oh, cool.
We've been in operation for 8 years, and about 5 years ago, I received a phone call from a mom in desperate need of a septic pumping service, and I didn't understand the urgency because it wasn't our normal issues that we hear about. And so she reluctantly explained to me that her daughter was diagnosed with leukemia.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the family had previous experience with septic damage from another family member that had passed away.
Oh, wow.
So after funeral expenses, it was a $17,000 septic repair bill. So they knew to stay on top of it, and then they educated my husband and I on the situation. From that moment, it was not only are we going to donate your septic pumping service, but we're going to cover it for the duration of her treatment. And that's Hannah, who started the whole thing. You can read all about her on our website. But then after that, it was more community members started reaching out to us after hearing that story. Or it was people that we knew and their family members that were being diagnosed. And so it was just kind of a mission for us, like, we have to educate them, but then we also have to do something about it. And so that snowballed into Pumps for Patients, that we just felt like it needed to be bigger than us. It needed to be outside of our community. Septic pumpers knew, but the medical community either doesn't know or doesn't warn people. So that's our mission.
How long has this been going on? How long has this been happening?
So we've talked to septic pumpers at this show who said, I knew this 20 years ago. And so many septic pumpers doing the same thing that we were doing, just donating their services to help people that were going through a hard time, which was so encouraging that this work was being done, but it's being done on such a small local level, and it's not, the education part of it is not getting out there.
Right.
So that's what we're out here to do, is to bring awareness, bring education, bring services to people who are deserving of these services. So
for the people at home that are going through this unfortunate time in their life, which is it's devastating. Let's face it, cancer's awful. It's horrible. How often would you need to pump that tank now during this the treatment?
So that's a great question, and unfortunately, there's not any research to support frequency of pumping services. We kind of go off of the industry suggestion of every 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
But that's really dependent on what type of chemotherapy drugs are you receiving? What duration is your treatment? What's your frequency what's your frequency of treatment?
Yep.
And so, there's no research out there about this at all. And so we do then just rely on the septic pumpers that when they're pumping, they know the difference between a lot of sludge accumulation or a lot of the contents of the tank, and okay, based off of this, I think that we should go every 3 months because it looked like it hadn't been pumped in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's just a lot of technical input that we take from pumpers and on the frequency. But yeah, 3 to 6 months is kind of our go-to at this point.
It's incredible. That's I can't stress enough. When I heard about this, I'm like, I need to talk to you. I want this message to get out into the community and educate people, because I not to say I know everything about septic, but man, I did not know about this. And now that I do, I definitely want to incorporate that into my business. And I'm even going to reach out to the local pumpers that I network with and say, hey, did you know this? I'm gonna promote this now.
I am so grateful. That is just the biggest way that we can get the awareness out there and get people to understand that, we want to prevent you having more expenses when you're fighting for your life.
Yeah, it's the last thing I want to be worrying about.
Right.
Let's face it, people with any disease, you either going to recover, or you may not, and whatever that looks like. And if you lose your life, they don't need that extra stress that they're already going through, say fighting 100%. For their life, and then, I can only imagine the cost of going through these treatments and just everything that's associated with it. The last thing you want to worry about is this treatment caused my septic system to fail, and now, wow, I survived. Wait a minute, but why? Oh my God, my system's failed. I got to incur that cost. That's even more devastating news that they don't need to receive after the fact. 100%,
right? Yeah. And we just, we kind of joke a little bit about who knew that being on sewer was a privilege in this situation. Yeah. Because, in our industry, we have a lot of mentality of flush it and forget it. And that's without going through treatment. But now that you've added that component into it, you can't flush it and forget it. It's really something that can be financially devastating, not to also say environmentally devastating.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, I appreciate you spreading the word, and that's what we want everybody to do, is we want patients to know that you have to pay attention to this, and there's an organization out there that's ready to help you.
And so, how do people that want to help that cause, how can they get involved to help this vision get even bigger? What can we do to help you?
So social media is going to be, I think, our biggest friend. Yep. Because there's so many pumpers here, there's people in the industry that you all have access to your community pages that yep. I don't. So even just posting something about it, you know what, hey, did anybody know that this was a problem? Do you know anybody that's in this situation? And then they can refer them over to us to fill out an application, and we can get that process started. So yeah, I think social media is going to be really big. The other avenue that we could take is to let cancer clinics, social workers, anybody who's in the healthcare industry that is in this situation of treating cancer patients, to get this information out to them, because a lot of them don't know either.
Are people donating money to fund this? How does this all work?
Yeah, so it took us 2 years this month from buying the domain name to being where we're at. We officially launched August of last year with the intention of kind of being local, get our processes in place, and it just kind of was stagnant. We weren't getting applications, and so then we had a family 5 weeks ago reach out to us from Texas, and they said, we know your website says San Diego only, but will you help us in the San Antonio area? And I went, here it is. We're going national. So that was 5 weeks ago. We launched nationally. We now have 120 pumping partners who have signed up to say, hey, we want to help. We want to donate our services. We want to discount our services. We want to get the word out there. So the funding has come primarily from my husband and I's pocket at this
Wow.
point.
Wow.
And so it was...
Give me the chills right there. Look. Wow, you're doing God's work there.
Yeah, it was. It's it was not cheap, but like you said, it's God's will. And I've had this. I've had this T-shirt that has just really kind of kept me motivated, and it's a whale. And it's Jonah swimming, and it says, "Get in, loser. We're doing God's will." Because sometimes I just I
love it. That's cool.
So I just tell myself, "Come on, loser, we're going." We're just taking this the whole way.
Wow.
So, after my husband and I laid the foundation, we incurred all of those costs out of pocket. It got to a point where we were like, okay, now the community can help. And so we have had some generous family and friends who have donated. We've had generous donations from people just walking by and slipping cash in our donation box, which has just been really encouraging and motivating. But we do need those donations to come in, because if there's a mom and pop shop that says, you know what, I can't donate a service, but I can discount it, well, then that's where the funds for the organization go. They would go to cover those septic pumping costs.
Yeah. I not want to. I'm going to do this in Canada now. I want to connect with you. I don't know if anything like that's being done back home. I'm gonna do my research when I get home next week. But I know now that I've heard this, I'm 100% gonna implement this and spread it across all my social media. I know a lot of people, and I know carrying this message now, I'm gonna help. I want to really do that, and that's what I love about this industry, is helping others. Because I was a firefighter for 20 years. I generally loved helping people, and this is just another thing that I can do to help others in need. This is gold.
Thank you. Yeah, you obviously have a heart of service. I have a heart for service, and I just coming to the Wet Show this week, after just launching nationally 5 weeks ago, the amount of encouragement, the amount of people that have come up to us and said, I personally have been affected by cancer, or I have fought cancer, and this was something that I didn't know, and now that you're here, I want to help. And that is so motivating, and our industry is just over the top generous and encouraging and motivating, and I didn't expect the amount of cheerleading that we got this week, and I'm going home with all of that motivation.
Oh my God, yeah, you got the wind in your sail right now.
Yes.
That's, I'm telling you, I'll say it again. When I heard about this, I'm like, we got to find her. I want to speak to, because I didn't know your name. I didn't know. I just knew that what you were doing. I'm like, I have to find this lady. I need to get her on the show. We need to talk about this.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And anyone that's listening to this, please donate. This is a great cause. Pumps for Patients, and look them up online. Donate what you can. You're doing a good thing, helping others. Help others. It's key, and it feels good in the heart. Nicki, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.